The movie begins with a girl named Emma waking up to go to school. Emma is a very active and excellent student. At the same time, a boy named Dean wakes up late for school, and his father calls him as he's running late. Dean is lazy and dislikes studying. Emma's mother is driving her and her sister, Jessica, to school, reminding them not to cause any trouble. After arriving at school, Emma meets her friend Liz and talks with her. They then encounter the school's soccer team captain, Stephen, who greets Emma. Liz is surprised that Emma knows him and suggests she should get to know him better and go out with him. Later in class, the teacher tells them that the bus will pick them up early to take them on a trip to one of the islands, where they'll spend 3 nights and work on their graduation project. After class, Emma and her friends talk, and Liz advises Emma to use the trip as an opportunity to get closer to Stephen. However, Liz notices Emma glancing at a boy named Dean, assuming she has feelings for him. Liz warns Emma that Dean is the weirdest guy in school, often sitting alone, having been expelled from several schools before. Liz cautions Emma to stay away from him. During lunch, a teacher sees Dean holding a knife while eating and warns him. Later, Emma returns home to pack for the island trip. Her parents bid her farewell and ask her to take care of herself. Meanwhile, Dean tells his father that he doesn't want to go on the trip, but his father insists that he must go to complete his graduation project and improve his grades, warning him not to get expelled again. The next day, the students gather for the trip. Stephen greets Emma, and Liz encourages her to use the trip to get closer to him. They arrive at the hotel, and the teacher gives them a day off, allowing them to explore the island. The girls go to the pool while Dean watches Emma from a distance. The next day, the students begin working on their graduation project. In the evening, a girl informs them that Stephen has rented a yacht for a party until morning. Initially, Emma refuses to go, but the other girls convince her. At the party, Liz encourages Emma to find Stephen, but when she does, she sees him with another girl and becomes upset. Dean notices Emma's distress and asks if she's looking for someone, but she walks away without responding. Soon, the police arrive, asking them to end the party because they're underage and the noise is too loud. While everyone tries to hide, Emma falls off the yacht into the sea, and only Dean sees her. He jumps in to rescue her, pulling her onto a nearby lifeboat. Emma asks him to return to the yacht, but Dean refuses, saying they need to wait until the police leave because if his father finds out, he'll be in serious trouble. They sit in the lifeboat, but soon a violent storm moves them far out to sea. The next morning, the students return to the hotel and realize that Emma and Dean are missing. The teacher asks the students if anyone knows their whereabouts, but no one does. Emma and Dean wake up to find that the yacht is no longer nearby, and the lifeboat's engine is broken. Stranded in the middle of the ocean, they attempt to use their phones to call for help, but neither phone works. Emma regrets going on the trip and is deeply saddened. Emma then spots an island nearby and suggests they go there in hopes of finding help. Meanwhile, the students are worried, and the police assure Emma's mother they'll search the nearby islands for the missing students. Emma and Dean reach the island and try to call for help, but their phones still don't work. Dean finds a flare gun in a box on the lifeboat, and decides to use it at the right moment. Dean's father learns his son is missing and rushes to the school, where he meets Emma's mother. Together, they talk to the school principal, who reassures them that the police are searching everywhere and will find them soon. Emma and Dean explore the island looking for help. Emma finds a mulberry tree and tries to eat the fruit, but Dean stops her, warning that it could be poisonous. As they continue walking, they find a waterfall and admire the beautiful view. Dean suggests taking some pictures, but Emma, frustrated, insists it's not the time for that. They need to find a solution to their problem. Later, they come across a cave, and Dean suggests they sleep there at night, but they are startled by a large group of bats and run back to the beach, only to find that the lifeboat is gone. Angry and unsure of what to do, they sit on the beach as the sun sets. Dean admires the beautiful scene, but Emma is scared and worried that they'll never return home. Dean tries to comfort her. Meanwhile, Dean's father and Emma's mother decide to search for their children themselves. Emma finds some food in her bag, which she shares with Dean. As it gets cold, Dean gives Emma his shirt, and they talk. Emma hears a sound in the forest and, frightened, moves closer to Dean. The next morning, Dean wakes up to find Emma by the beach. They swim in the sea together. At the same time, the school principal informs the parents that the police will search by plane once the storm clears. Dean's father offers the police money to speed up the search. Emma's sister calls her parents, asking about Emma, but they tell her they're still searching. Later, Emma and Dean explore the island for food, and Emma hears a noise in the forest. They decide to build a shelter from the trees to protect themselves from the cold and rain. While Dean is sleeping, Emma realizes how kind he is and feels safe around him. The next day, Dean finds Emma swimming at the waterfall, and she asks him to leave as she's swimming without clothes. Dean's father rents a private plane to search for his son, accompanied by Emma's mother, but they still don't find them. After 30 days, Emma's mother is at home, heartbroken, watching the news when she hears that the police have called off the search. Dean's father tries to comfort her, promising they will continue searching on their own until they find their children. Dean and Emma begin to lose hope of being rescued as time passes with no sign of boats or planes. One day, Dean spots human bones on the island, and Emma is terrified, fearing they might meet the same fate. Dean comforts her, assuring her that their families will never stop searching. Dean grows closer to Emma, and they eventually start a romantic relationship. The next day, Emma wakes up and panics when she doesn't see Dean, but she finds him digging a hole to bury the skeleton they found. She's upset with him but injures her leg and accepts his help. Later, they swim in the waterfall together. Dean confesses to Emma that he didn't attend his mother's funeral because he felt guilty about her death. He tells Emma that his mother died in the car accident while driving him home from school. Emma comforts him, and they dance in the rain before becoming intimate again. Emma's mother visits the police, convinced they've been searching in the wrong area. She presents a map, explaining that the storm likely carried her children in the opposite direction, and requests that they restart the search. Dean's father continues searching by plane. Dean and Emma begin to enjoy their time on the island, though their families remain terrified for their safety. One day, Emma spots a plane flying overhead and yells for Dean to find the flare gun, but they can't locate it. The plane flies away, leaving them frustrated. Emma suggests that someone might be living on the island and stealing their things. Later, they hear a noise in the forest, and Dean investigates. He encounters a tiger that almost attacks Emma, but he kills it and saves her. Emma is grateful and feels even safer with Dean. While resting under a tree, they suddenly see a monkey, which throws the stolen flare gun at them. Emma quickly fires a flare, but Dean is angry, explaining that they should have waited for the plane. Emma is upset and says she can't handle being stranded any longer, and has lost hope of rescue. She later apologizes to Dean, telling him she couldn't survive without him on the island. Just then, they hear another plane approaching, and this time they successfully fire the flare. The plane spots them and rescues them, flying them back to the airport where their families and the media await. Later that night, Emma hears a noise outside her window and sees Dean, who came to check on her after their first day off the island. Emma invites him to a party her mother is hosting the next day. At the party, Dean stands apart from the crowd, and Emma's sister urges him to confess his feelings before it's too late. The next day at school, Emma stands with her friends while Dean remains alone, as usual. He later visits his mother's grave, apologizing for missing the funeral and asking for her forgiveness. On graduation night, Emma attends the party, but Dean decides to stay home. His father tries to convince him to go, but he refuses. As Emma walks outside during the party, she sees Dean standing in the rain. He tells her he only came to see her. They recall their fond memories from the island and confess their love, dancing together in the rain as the movie ends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch new videos that are posted regularly.